today I'm going to be sharing my second YouTube video, more about my story with depression and anxiety and how I've overcome it and how I overcome it day by day. It's not something that just goes away, as I said in the last video. In the first video that I had, I shared a video of back 10 years ago when I was starting to feel anxiety and depression in my life. And after I did the video, I realized that I probably should mention that I had a lot of good friends and family, and I went to a great school, I had a good church, I had a lot of talents that I was able to share. And at that time in my life, anyone else looking in would have been like, oh, she's fine, like she doesn't need any help. But I wasn't at all. In my last video, I shared about when I was starting to feel anxiety and depression, and I was Googling it and being like, okay, so what's it like when I feel like this? Like, okay, so being fidgety, that's like anxiety, okay. But I didn't really know that I had depression and anxiety. It wasn't diagnosed. So, what changed? How did I figure it out? I'll try to sum it up. Okay, so go back 10 years ago. So I was in 8th grade and I went to the same school from kindergarten to 8th grade, and it was really great. I had a lot of good friends. A lot of the people I was graduating with, I had knew growing up since kindergarten. And then there are others along the way that have joined or had gone to different schools. I had really good friends that supported me and loved me and cared for me. And basically, I had the choice to go to a lot of different high schools. So when I went to high school, my mom and I decided I'd go to this prep school that had a good reputation of being difficult, but people learned a lot. So I went there, and I had some people that I was like, oh, I'm gonna see them. And, we had the same religion, so I was like, oh, they're gonna be friends with me, like, everything's gonna be great. But it just didn't turn out like that. For whatever reason, things didn't click. And so I had a lot of hard times making friends. There were 20 people in each class, and then 40 people in each grade, so it was really small. And so if you didn't have any friends in your class, like, good luck, you're probably not going to have friends for a while, and it's going to be pretty lonely. And that's how I felt. And I remember one day I was sitting next to people, and I just want to say, I don't hold grudges against anyone. I'm just sharing my experience so that other people can get out of whatever they're feeling. And I'm not saying anyone did things wrong, but this is just what happened. This is the facts. So I sat down with the person I thought was going to be my friend, and they had a bunch of people around them, and I just looked at them, and I thought for sure that they were looking around to make sure no one else saw that I was sitting next to them. They were just kind of like, who's that? And I had to earn my reputation, and I didn't have a good reputation because I was new there, and the other people had started before me, so I was just on my own. And I remember this person, very kind-hearted, and I'm sure that they meant this in a good way, but they said to me, oh, the first year is always the hardest, and then walked away. At that time, I didn't need words to say, yeah, it's really hard, good luck. I needed someone to be my friend, to wrap their arms around me and say, you're gonna be okay. You're gonna make it through this. There was just this feeling of constantly being judged, and it just did not help, and not having friends didn't help, and it was a very difficult time. There was a point where I remember studying for my biology class, and we were doing our finals. So we had this big packet of papers that was just all this stuff we need to memorize and just somehow smash into our heads. And I was like, I can't put any more stuff in my head. When you have anxiety and depression, it's like your mind is already totally eaten up by these dark thoughts, and of these things like, oh, what's going to happen, this anxiety about the future, and then this feelings of the past of like things you've done wrong, and it just overwhelms you. And I didn't know what to do. So when I was reading these papers, I was just like, I got to the point where I was like, I can't put anything more in my head. And I'd go home at night and I'd open the book up at hopes that maybe the book would somehow absorb into my mind, but it wouldn't. It would just sit there, and I was just like, and then I'd stare at the wall for minutes at a time. It felt like hours. I felt nothing. Nothing. And I would do things like, I would like take a bath almost every night and print off stuff, like different lessons and talks from like church leaders, trying to find the answer. I put this out into the world and I was like, somebody tell me what I need to do. And how old was I at this time? I was 14. And I was at a loss for what to do. I was like, what do I need to do? One night, back in that bathtub, and I was reading those things, I had this thing called The New Era from my church, and I was reading it. This was a magazine. I was reading it, and it said, do you have the blues? And there are all these blue and yellow balloons floating up. And in one balloon it said, do you feel anger, sadness that won't go away? And there's like all these symptoms of depression. Like your life is out of control, that you are afraid of what's going to happen to you. All these things. I was like, yes, 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 yes. That is me. That is how I feel. What do I need to do? And what did it say? Go get help. It hit me and I was like, I need to go to a counselor. I had this thought that just went boom right into my mind. Go see a counselor. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. That's what crazy people do. Am I right? I'm a crazy person. It's okay. So I did. I went upstairs, mustered up my courage and said, Mom, I need to go see a counselor. I need someone to help me. I need someone to help me know what's going on and help me feel again. Because I lost all feeling. And I feel nothing. And my heart is broken. And I need help. And I'm going to get help. One of the scariest and most uplifting moments of my life was when I finally said, no more doing this on your own, Megan. You need help. And there's someone who can help you. Oh. So, one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life to go to see a counselor. And my mom found someone that was incredible. I love this guy. Even to this day, I still go back and remember the things he taught me. And in other videos, I'll talk about that. The things that he taught me. He changed my life. He somehow got into my heart and was like, be happy. I'm going to help you be happy. Oh, this was the best part of my life when I finally started to love myself again. To see myself as my higher power, who I believe is God, sees me. I'm not just this girl that is here on this earth just to float around and maybe somehow make it. No, you're here to have a grand story unfold and complete your adventure in your life. Your life is not over. And there is so much that you need to do. So I want to invite you to comment below if you have any ideas or if you have a feeling of like, okay, you know what? This is me. I want to be part of this journey. Or you've had a similar experience in your life where you've decided that you weren't going to let something hold you back anymore. That you're like, nuh-uh, I'm going to move forward. And what did you do? What helped you move forward? I'm really interested. And I have a course, and it's a 4-week course, and it will help you reroute your mind to make success in your life, to take that step forward. And it's basically like the 4 weeks of how to be successful in your life. It will change your life if you apply the principles. So check it out below. Sign up for Teachable, and then we can work on the payment plan if you want to pay in a different way other than through Stripe, which is what you'll do with Teachable. Just keep being awesome, because you have a lot of potential and you can have all of the dreams that you've ever dreamed of.